Without a doubt, Geno Smith has exceeded everybody's expectations over this past season. Now, the tough question comes into the air. Should the Seahawks resign Geno Smith, and if so, for how much money? And can Geno Smith be a long-term starter for the Seahawks? Today, we're going to dive into his film, analyze what he did well, what he needs to improve on, and answer the question, could he be the Seahawks' next franchise quarterback? The first question that has to be answered is Geno Smith's arm talent. Does he have the arm talent to be a franchise quarterback? So getting into this first play here, we're going to see the Raiders. They're dropping into this cover one look here. And offensively, I really just want to focus on DK Metcalf, who's running this go at the top of the screen. At the snap of the ball, we're going to see DK give a great release here. We're going to see him head fake inside here, jump back outside, allowing him to stack and go over top of the corner here. But now we see the safety circled in black over the top here coming screaming down, trying to prevent that deep ball from happening. So with the corner underneath and the safety over the top, it all comes down to Geno here. He has to layer this throw. He has to throw with perfect touch to let it go over top of the corner's head, but with enough zip to not allow that safety to break back down over the top, disrupting the pass. So let this play roll. We see the ball is placed perfectly here. It's in a great spot, not allowing that safety to break up the pass, with enough touch, not allow that corner to get back in underneath. And like I said, I'll just play roll from the top one more time. Just keep an eye on here, the touch, the accuracy, the ability to layer this throw in between two tight windows between the corner and the safety is definitely something that you want to see in a possible franchise quarterback. Now, we've seen Geno's arm talent throwing with touch deep down the field. Now let's flip gears here and let's just take a look at his deep ball and if he has the capabilities of taking the top off of defenses. So pre-snap here, we see the defense. They're running maybe a cover 3 or possible cover 6 look. And offensively, the Seahawks are just dialing up a common Yankee concept here. So the snap of the ball, I really want to focus on the middle field safety here. We're going to see him. He's going to fly down here on this over route that's coming across the field from DK Metcalf. Because that safety's biting on the over route, it gives Geno the right to throw the deep post here and allows him to take the post. We see those circled in black. That deep third corner is bailing here, trying to get back into that post window to not allow an easy completion here. But as I let this play roll, Geno launches his ball with perfect placement. We see it's placed high and away from that corner that's trying to come underneath and undercut this route for a big time touchdown. I'll just play roll from the top one more time, but this is a simple read for Geno. All he's doing is reading that middle field safety. As soon as he sees him biting down on that over route, he sets up and launches his ball high and upfield to not allow that corner to undercut it, picking up a huge touchdown for his offense. We've seen a lot to like from Geno so far. We've seen that touch and that accuracy throwing deep down the field. We've seen that arm power to launch and take the top off of defenses with perfect ball placement. Now let's flip gears here and let's take a look at that arm strength and how he can make any throw across the field. So pre-snap, we got a cover 4 look here, and offensively, I really just want to focus on this, the two receivers at the top of the screen, the seam and out route. At the snap of the ball, I really just want to focus on the seam route here by number 2. We see as he pushes vertical, the flat defender carries vertical with him, and he doesn't expand for width to get underneath this out route. Add on top of that, we see the corner circled in black, who's having quarters coverage responsibility, having to play off to protect himself from getting beat deep. We see there's this huge window here for this out route to be made here right along the sideline. But we see Geno here, he's on the opposite hash, and with this out route already being 20 yards down the field, this is going to be an extremely long throw to make this throw at this angle. But as we see here, Geno releases this ball with great zip, great power, fitting it right into that window right on the sideline, and not allowing the corner or flat defender to cut off his route. I'll just play roll from the top one more time. Just keep an eye on Geno's anticipation here. How he progresses from one side of the field to the other, and how he's releasing this ball before his receiver's even out of his break. Add on top of that, throwing a 20-yard out route from the opposite hash. It's showing a lot of really important traits of a possible franchise quarterback. So we've seen all of this physical traits of Geno, his arm talent, his arm strength. Let's flip gears. Let's take a look at his football IQ. So pre-snap here, we see the Jets. They're dropping into a cover 6 look. They're actually running this trap coverage by dropping their D tackle here at the top of the screen. Offensively, we're going to see just a little bit of quick game concepts working here from the offense. And at the snap of the ball, we're going to see Geno check here at the bottom of the field. He sees the backer drop here, carrying with the tight end vertical here circled in blue. He immediately darts his eyes back to the top of the field here where he's going to try to work this post route here where he thinks it's going to break open into a wide open zone. Little does he know, though, that this is playing right out of the Jets' hand here where they have their big D tackle circled in white dropping here into coverage here to try to trap Geno into an interception. Rather than forcing the ball, though, we see Geno, he just progresses right back to the other side of the field here, finding his open receiver circled in blue, picking up a good little chunk yardage play for his offense. I'll just play roll from the top one more time. Just keep an eye here on Geno's eyes. Look how he checks one way, checks back the other way, doesn't fall for the trap, comes back and hits his receiver underneath, picking up basically a first down for his offense. So we've seen Geno's arm talent, we've seen him make full field reads. Now let's see how he handles a blitz. So pre-snap here, we got a cover 2 look by the Raiders defense, but they're going to be blitzing this line back here at the bottom of the field. So the Seahawks, they're done with just one step slant here, just trying to break right into that open window, and we see it works perfectly here. The Raiders try to drop Max Crosby here, circled in black, into coverage to try and replace that blitzing backer. But rather getting depth, Max Crosby's bailing out and getting width, which continues to create this vacated zone in the Raiders defense, where we see Geno, he's decisive, gets his ball out of his hands. Sadly, his tight end drops here, but let's play roll from the top one more time. Just keep an eye here. When you run a zone pressure, you got to know as a quarterback, if you have somebody blitzing from depth, that means someone is not covering their zone on the field. That's exactly what Geno does here. He's decisive, he sees it, diagnoses it quick, gets the ball out of his hands to punish pressure. Sadly, his tight end drops the ball, but nonetheless, still a very good play from Geno. There's no doubt about it, Geno is a weathered veteran quarterback when it comes to the IQ game of football. On top of that, he flashes elite level arm talent, shows a lot of these traits of a franchise quarterback. So why is there any question? Why was he ever on the bench to begin with? Well, let's jump into some of the red flags that are still pouring and rearing their ugly heads on film. So pre-snap here, we're going to see the Rams defense, they're dropping to a cover 3 look here, and we see the Seahawks, they're doing this play action crossers concept here. Now we see at the snap of the ball a complete coverage bust by the Rams. We see 2 defenders here trailing DK Metcalf circled in blue. It looks like there's a miscommunication of who the deep third corner was, because now we see this wheel route circled in white coming wide open down the sideline. This is still a disappointing miss, but at the end of the day, it's not the biggest red flag. We have no idea what his progressions are in the meeting rooms, so this could just be a slight oversight by him. Mistakes happen. The way Geno handles his edge pressure is the biggest concern. Look how Geno doesn't slide up in the pocket. He almost gets into a running start here, not allowing himself to reset his feet in time to throw this crosser here circled in blue. Because he completely destroys his base and sprints up through the pocket, he's now drifting outside of the pocket here, trying to drift away from that pocket that's collapsing in his face now. It's a complete disaster of a play. He misses his throw, misses a big time chunk yardage play for his offense. I'll just play roll from the top one more time. Ignore the wheel route here. Just keep an eye on the pressure here. Look how instead of just sliding up in the pocket, keeping a good base here to slide up, instead his mechanics break down here and he almost runs his way back up to the pocket, which rushes his timing and it does not allow him to see the true angle here where he should slide out to the right where he's a clean lane in the pocket. Instead he's rushed here, slides out to the left, and now he begins to drift away off his back foot here, and now he's drifting himself right back into the pressure. He's not sliding and navigating the pocket to a clean spot. He's panicking and rushing, trying to get away from that immediate pressure, and it's costing his offense big time throws. And as we jump into this next play, we're going to stay on the same topic of some of these red flags. That is not just the way he navigates the pocket, it's also just in general of how pressure affects him. So pre-snap here, we see the Raiders are running this Tampa 2 look, and offensively, we're going to be hitting this play-action crossers concept once again. And at the snap of the ball, I really just want to focus on the edge rushers here for the Raiders. Look how great of a rush they get to collapse his pocket in on Geno. It forces Geno to have to step up into the pocket. And we see Geno, he's stepping up into a clean pocket. He got himself away from pressure here. And now we see down the field, circled in black, these 2 crossers, they got a really good look. They got a 2-on-1 situation. The middle linebacker, whichever one he picks, the other crosser is going to be open. But we see Geno in the pocket already getting ready to throw this ball when he hasn't even allowed these crossers to mesh yet. Because Geno felt this pressure, it rushed his timing. It felt like he had to get the ball out. Instead of being patient, he forced a throw here, costing his team a big-time interception. I'll just play roll from the top one more time. Just keep an eye on here. Look how Geno handles this edge pressure. Yes, he does a good job sliding up, navigating himself back into a clean pocket. But because he felt that pressure, his internal clock is rushed now. And now he's forcing unnecessary throws, costing his team not only chunk yardage plays, but now he's forcing turnovers. It's no secret, Geno does not handle pressure well consistently. Often when he's pressured, he navigates the pocket poorly, and on top of that, when he does get pressure and navigates the pocket correctly, he'll get his timing and he feels like he's rushed, forcing unnecessary throws across the middle of the field. Add on top of that other minor issues with his accuracy. Yes, we've seen a lot of arm talent, but it's not consistently showing up every play. There's once in a while where Geno is going to miss and throw a ball into the dirt. He's not a pinpoint accurate thrower. He's inconsistent at times, but nonetheless, these inconsistencies don't make him up as a player. There's often times where you see, like we've seen at the beginning of this video, him make these ridiculous throws deep down the field, or he'll escape the pocket and hit this little jump pass to his running back running a wheel route down the sideline in just a complete backyard football style fashion. When Geno is on and he's red hot and he's firing on all cylinders, he is just as good as any other quarterback in the NFL. But when Geno's inconsistencies show, he costs his team big time. Whether it be missing easy first down throws, whether it's him getting rushed and getting pressured in the pocket and forcing a throw across the middle of the field, throwing an interception, these inconsistencies will cost his team big time plays, which means it's going to limit their margin of error to compete for a Super Bowl in the future. So does this mean that the Seahawks shouldn't re-sign Geno and just let Geno walk? No, not at all. The Seahawks need to re-sign Geno. It gives them stability at one of the most important positions on the field. And like I said, yes, Geno is not consistent all the time. His biggest issue is consistency. But like I said, when he is consistent, he's red hot and he can compete with any team or any other quarterback in the NFL. It all comes down to which Geno you're going to get on a play-by-play basis. And at the end of the day, does that mean Geno's a bad quarterback? No, not at all. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL that are just as inconsistent or even more inconsistent than Geno that have starting jobs. All I'm saying is that Geno is not a franchise quarterback yet. Yes, maybe you give him an offseason develop, he could develop and he could become more comfortable in the system, but at the end of the day, you don't know how much time and assets do you really want to pour into a quarterback that's already past the age of 30. I think it's time to re-sign Geno to a 2-year, $50 million deal and go out in the draft and draft a young talent that they can pour all of their assets into. I think a perfect fit for the Seahawks for the future and the years to come is the quarterback Anthony Richardson out of Florida. You draft him, you let him sit behind a well-minded, well-weathered veteran quarterback in Geno to develop. I think you have a very good pairing for a possible explosive future for the Seahawks. But let me know your thoughts down below. I think Geno, he's a great quarterback. I think he's a valuable quality starter. Is he that franchise quality quarterback you're looking for? No. I think he's going to be a great bridge player to mentor a young rookie quarterback if the Seahawks go that route in the draft this year. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. I love hearing from you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.